Hello, everybody. Everybody, hello. Welcome to Tracy's Weekend Review. I'm Tracy. You can see I'm joined by Theus. We're gonna talk about some interesting topics today, and you may not love me as much as you normally do. Give you a big hint about what's going on. So before I get started, hit that subscribe button. Guys, we are really 25 away from 400. I don't know why it's taking me so long to get to 1,000. 1,000 is our goal by December, but hit that subscribe button. Subscribing is literally free, doesn't cost you anything. So hit that subscribe button. You can support me on Patreon. You can sign up for my mailing list because I said I was going to cut down on the announcements that I'm making. So they will all be in my monthly newsletter, which comes out the 15th of every month. As usual, help us to get 75 likes and 45 shares. And before we get started, the big announcement, TRACYMedia LLC.com is back. I'm working on design now. It took a while to get to that point, but it's coming back. That means you'll be able to watch the show live there. It'll port into my YouTube channel. And we're one subscriber away from someone following us on Rumble, so I can be on there too, because I said at the beginning of the year, it's still my goal to be on Rumble. But besides that, also, really quick, there will not be a show next week. There will not be a show next week. That is my brother's 48th birthday. And he's chosen to have a dinner. It's going to be at 3:00. So you guys will not see me. Theus, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thank you. No major complaints. Everything is well.
And another thing, guys, you know I do this every single day. There are, well, not every single day, but I do this every time I'm on this particular podcast. There are 100 days left until the NFL season kicks off. Yes, I know these hate football, but I love it. But because y'all know every week I say how many? It's 100 days to go. Y'all, this has been a long summer. I hate summer. I hate it. So what are we going to talk about? We're definitely going to talk about the New York primary and all of the facets to it, because there's a whole lot of layers to it that I think that I was going to say Trump is ignoring, that I think that people are ignoring. And I'm going to be that cautionary person that tells y'all, don't get your hopes up too high, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Also going to talk about the whole Iran-Israel agreement / non-agreement, where that kind of stands. And for you all that have been watching this podcast, I've been following the story, which these probably will just be sitting there saying, yes, okay, yes, because he won't know anything about it, with Indianapolis's Mayor Joe Hogsett. The drama continues because now the young Democrats are calling for his resignation. The whole thing, it's just a mess. I don't know. I'm like, dude, go away, just go. But I will be doing all the talking on that. So where do we start? I think I'm going to start with, I'm not going to get his name right, so I'm just going to call him Zoran, because I got the first name, but I'm still messing up on the last name.
Mom, Donnie.
Mom, Donnie. Okay, I'll try to remember that.
For me, it's easier than the first name because I keep forgetting the first name.
I got the first name because it took me 3 weeks to get Ibrahim Traore's name right. I was like, we did, but Zoran Mondami recently pulled off what I think is a big upset. Andrew Cuomo, basically garbage. Andrew Cuomo was the front runner. As a matter of fact, Zoran was polling at less than 1% when he entered the race. How do you think that he started out less than 1% and then goes to beat Cuomo, who was literally the party favorite to win the nomination? And let's not forget, Cuomo was governor not once, not twice, but 3 times.
So is that a question for me?
Yes, that's a question for you.
Oh, okay. I think that Zoran did what Democrats, young Democrats, and lefties have been asking for candidates to do. Um, he's not playing by the old rule book. He understands that he has to put in more effort, more in a matter of ways, old school effort, actually interacting with people, um, staying agreeable even when you don't agree. He's very approachable. Um, it's I don't like this comparison, but it's the one that I think most people understand. But it's kind of that Obama energy where on the surface you can come up with a host of reasons why this guy shouldn't have a chance, but it's the other stuff is why he does, right? He doesn't allow you to pull him into racial discussions. He doesn't allow you to um, get him angry or frustrated. And he has an agenda for something. Um, Oddly enough, that's what the what do you call it, mainstream Democrats are attacking him for, is for having ideas. Um, but that's what he's done different because Cuomo phoned it in from the beginning. He's like, I got the most money, I got name recognition, even though your name is Mud right now. Um, I'm just gonna ride this out and take the win. And Zoran was like, nah, I'm gonna keep talking when I'm talking. That's why I think that's my take on why.
I think it's several things. One, Cuomo is garbage. I'm gonna just keep it, but the man is garbage. First of all, you had not one woman, not 2 women. You were accused of sexual harassment of 13 women. You resigned from being governor, even though you keep saying you did nothing wrong. You went and issued an apology. You let people die in nursing homes during the COVID. Yes, he let people die in nursing homes when they didn't have to.
Yeah, the problem with that particular accusation is it's sensationalized and it's used and it's been weaponized. Um, During that time, and I'm no fan of Cuomo. I used to like his brother until his brother lost his mind. Um, but I've never liked whoever that Andrew, I think is his name.
Andrew is the governor, and then Chris is the brother.
I've never been.
I know that, I don't know, but yeah, I know that.
Well, I just couldn't remember Andrew, right? But I've never been a fan of his because of just the way his bearing is off-putting. He's very condescending. It's like the privilege just reeks like off of him. But when it comes to COVID, I mean, we during that phase of the pandemic, people were dying left and right all over the place. Nobody could figure out anything. Whatever treatments they were doing were the wrong treatments. And you had elderly people dying in senior care facilities across the country. It's just he's the governor of New York, so much more visibility. But why should he carry more stink for that than the guy who is now sitting in the Oval Office?
I agree.
No, I get that you agree with me in principle, but when people want to attack someone over COVID, they bring up him. They do not bring up other things. They don't bring up the context of people dying across the country. They don't bring up the context of people dying in senior care facilities across the country in massive numbers. It's just weaponized to attack him. And I'm like, he is such a bad person. He is such a just odious politician. There's no need to take a cheap shot.
He reeks of fakeness. Like when you see somebody, when you see a politician, well, all politicians are
like a Batman villain. That's what he seems like. He seems like
that's a good
point. The mayor during Gotham.
Like, yes, he's the one that Batman's always like, me get out of my face. I got to fight real villains. Like, you want to be a villain, but you not quite up
Right.
to the task.
You still low level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like even villains laugh at you. They're like, nah, we don't really need you. Go on and be great somewhere else. That's him. But I think for me, the sexual harassment is the biggest thing. Because he kept saying, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. To me, if you say I'm innocent, I'm not resigning from office. This is just me. If I didn't do it, I'm going to stand on it, put me on trial, call your witnesses. I'm innocent. I'm not resigning. You're not going to get me to resign. You can do all the investigations you want because I'm innocent.
It's easier said than done because these are civil charges. So
they are civil.
If there were criminal charges, I'd be 100% with you. But criminal charges, if you're innocent, but the public outcry is extreme, and let's not forget that when Trump came back into the scene, he started putting the pieces together to go get this guy, right? It's not like he was just randomly targeted. They came for him. And I hope they get him for something because he's definitely dirty on something. But it's just the sexual harassment claims is just it's hard to defend that type of a thing, especially as a guy. It's hard to defend those types of things, whether you're innocent or guilty. It's hard to defend that. So that's why I'm like, but I think that one's a fair one to go after him on because it speaks to his character. Not that he's been accused by so many women. That's bad enough, but at a certain point, I don't mean to sound terrible, but at a certain point, the numbers start to distort the story. Like for me, if 5 women came forward, I'm like, oh yeah, he did that. 10 women come forward, I'm like, did they send you? Right? Like, because he's like next level sloppy doing stuff like that. But the part that grabs me, which doomed him from a character standpoint to me, was not only is he being accused, but he turned around and tried to subpoena one of the women's medical records. And that right there, I mean, I'm not a legal scholar. I don't know if that's something that you kind of need to do, but that's a bad move. And at that point, I'm just like, nah.
It makes you look guilty.
It really does.
It makes you look. You saying you innocent, but you're subpoenaing medical. Dude, you looking guilty out here.
But that doesn't mean he is.
It doesn't mean he is. You're correct. But again, that's why I said for me, if I know in my heart I'm innocent, I don't care. Let's make this criminal. You're not gonna get me if I say I'm innocent and I know I didn't do it. It's gonna be hard to move me. But I'm just again talking for me. I think another thing that Cuomo does, and you're more likely to vote Democratic than I am, because I'm just like, I'm done with the whole lot of y'all. Y'all make me sick. But you're more likely to at least look at a Democratic Party, and this is more my criticism of them. He seemed a little bit like you talked about entitled. Like he just thought, oh, I'm the mayor. No, I'm been governor 3 times. This will be a cakewalk. I don't really have to do anything. I can just, get Al Sharpton to show up, or I can just, cut some ribbons and
Al Sharpton catching strays. What? How he catching a stray?
Because he won't stay out of stuff. Like, dude, gosh.
When there's a camera opportunity, they trot certain people out. Because this is not a criticism of Al Sharpton. This is a criticism of these fake
yes.
liberal friends that some people out there like to believe exist. Whenever there's a media moment, that community knows so little about us.
Yeah, they go
that they figure that's who I gotta go with.
Sharpton. Hey, now what's that attorney's name? What's that other attorney? He always the civil rights attorney.
Trump.
No, not Trump. Yeah, Crump. Like, y'all know it's more than them 2 black people. Y'all do know that, right? Y'all know.
Well, they go get Clyburn every once in a while. They'll dust him off and drag him out.
Oh, don't start me on Clyburn. But I'm like, because I can't even get my sense together. Zoran is having trouble with the black community
Yes.
in terms of his support. Black
Mhm.
people in New York, I don't understand. Yeah, but okay, I guess.
I mean, I can explain it.
Please do, because I'm like, oh, okay, but he's
It's the same. The thing that I think a lot of people really, really, really need to understand about black voters is that we vote Democratic not because we are diehard Democrats. We vote Democratic because we're pragmatic voters. So they're just looking at who do they think can win. And so now that Mamdani is showing that he has appeal outside of the minority groups, you will see more black people attached to him going into the general. No one wants to be on the first part of it because, especially for our community, you defy the Democratic Party, which would be going against Cuomo, and attaching yourself to this candidate in the primary. We get punished for that. See, other groups don't get punished.
they sure
We
don't.
literally get punished. Like if we don't show loyalty, the Democratic Party will starve us. They'll start firing our heads. Like if you got people in the media that look like us, they'll start getting fired quicker. We are punished for non-compliance.
We sure
But
are.
the moment you can show us that you have a chance of doing something, you're not just a wide-eyed dreamer, right? Because Mamdani came in as a wide-eyed dreamer, as far as we're concerned, like flash in the pan. Same thing happened with Obama. Obama did not get the support from our community until he started showing he could win. Once he started showing he could win, then our aspirational selves were able to say, all right,
Yeah, because the Black Caucus endorsed Clinton.
talking about Hillary.
Hillary. Yeah, they sure
Yeah,
did.
they're going to follow the party line until you can give them something viable to do instead. We're not going to go blind faith on anything. And if you think about it, Tracy, when you and I have some of our political discussions, that's what I'm conveying to you, right? Like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to another party. I don't like the Democratic. I haven't liked them for probably 30, 40 years, but I don't like the Democratic Party. But you got to give me something to believe in. You got to show me that you have more than just ideas. So Mamdani is stepping into that, and we'll see, because now the test is going to be for the Democratic Party. The test is going to be, is it more valuable to us to maintain our indirect control, or do we really need to retain control of the city? That's what they're going to be fighting with. And if they decide that they rather control the city, then they'll back Mamdani later. But if they decide that it's more important to control that indirect power, that power base that makes all the money underneath who sits in the seat, they will continue to savage him and try to tear him apart. And I don't think it'll work. I
See,
think Cuomo is so tainted that only big money is going to back him, and big money is going to walk away if the general gets close and it still looks bad.
here's where I disagree and agree with you. The establishment Democrats have already started attacking.
Yeah.
You heard Senator her name Christian Gillibrand. I never get her name right.
Kirsten Gillibrand or something like that.
Yeah, she went on a rant. I can't play it on here because I already got 2 strikes on YouTube, so I'm not trying to get rid of this channel. So I'm not going to play anything, but just search it on YouTube. She went to this, and her and Swalwell and Eric Adams.
Islamophobia to
Yeah,
people.
I'm like, but they're taking what he said way out of context.
Yes.
Way. I'm like, y'all know that is not what he meant. First of all,
It's not what he meant. That's not even what he said.
That's not what he. Thank you. That's not even what he said. I think the fact that they're in panic mode, that gives me joy, because I'm like, you know what? This is just what y'all get. You've ignored the people for so long. People have been telling you, hey, our communities need help. but you're so tied to the establishment that you rather take your cues from Wall Street than Main Street. Ha ha, just what you get. I'm not crying no tears for them. Cry, keep crying.
Me either.
Hope they cry. I
I
hope he
just
makes
really
them cry.
want you guys out there to really focus on the fight that you're in for. It's what I've been watching, right? Because I'm intentionally backed a lot away from politics as much as I can, but people need to pay attention to this. Once again, you have someone who is willing to step forward and was able to break through the noise. Okay, so does the it's hard for me to call you guys the base because you're not, right? A lot of you guys don't even support the Democratic Party in any way, shape, form, or fashion. As yet, and yet, Mamdani is a Democrat.
He's a Democratic socialist.
So, but he's a Democrat. He is a Democrat.
Right.
The party he is tied to is the Democrats. So is the fair weather friendness of the unaffiliated left. The test is coming. Testing is coming for y'all, and it's coming for all the rest of us as well. Because I'm also kind of in that group, right? I'm not going to sit here and waste my energy attacking the Democratic Party when the Republican Party is my threat, right? So the Democratic Party is my disappointment. The Republicans are my threat. So I'm not going to spend energy breaking down this thing. This thing I have to hope can do something until we get some better stuff on the board. But that's aside. Please learn the lesson that we all failed to learn from Obama. The left has a tendency to get someone like to break through and then sit back and watch to see what happens. Not keep sending more, right? It's like Mamdani got through the primary, folks, the primary.
You're not the general.
This ain't the general, okay? When he gets to the general, he's going to have Eric Adams, that clown. He's going to start stealing votes. You're going to have Cuomo stealing votes. And then the alternative is a radical right-wing goon. If you let your principles, see, y'all love to do the principles thing. Y'all let y'all principles get in the way again. That dude with the red bandana, or what was it? Whatever that thing is he wears. What's
Beret?
that called? Beret. Thank you. The crazy guy, he ain't crazy. The goon with the beret has a better chance of winning because you're going to split the left vote up 3-4 ways.
Then okay,
get the win, folks.
Here where I'm going to slightly offer a different set of arguments, because all I've heard the Democratic Party say is vote blue no matter who. Vote blue no matter who. That's all. I'm not saying you said it, but I've heard it said. Vote blue no matter who. So Mamdani won the primary. So Democrats, if I'm going by their own logic, they should just be like, this is our guy.
That's the mistake you're all making. Stop listening to what people tell you and start paying attention to what they're explaining, what they're conveying, right? The Democratic Party, Republicans do this as well. They say whatever they have to say to sell you something, but they do everything to defy it, right? Like the
I'm not
Democratic
saying
Party,
they don't. I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying if you're going to preach that message,
but you know they're not going to hold to it. You know they're not.
Well, I know they're not, but I'm saying, okay, why are you saying it then?
Because people are susceptible to the easier message because we don't want to actually have to do anything. We don't want the accountability and the effort that it takes to form real decisions, nuanced positions, and fight for something. Everyone truly just wants the energy of being behind someone who is fighting. They're not actually trying to fight. So the Democrats say, I haven't been hearing it, but it's the sentiment that's out there as well. So I'll give you this. He is nothing more than a circus show. However, if you split up the left vote 3-4 ways, he can slide in there, especially on a ranked choice situation. So
they don't use ranked choice in the general. They only use it in the primary.
Okay. So even in the general and under normal rules, it still splits up one side of the vote. So if guys are serious, then you ride with Mamdani and you keep calling out the what do you call it? Would you call them the Democratic Party, the mainstream, you keep calling them out for their hypocrisy, but rally hard behind Mamdani because that the aristocracy of the Democratic Party is going to be looking for where can we get the win. And if all the energy is consistently behind Mamdani and it's clear that no one's even going to entertain Cuomo, then midway through the general run-up, they will pivot and you will see money flooding into Mamdani because then they will be coming to Mamdani to try to buy him and corrupt him. So if you're serious, you got to be able to say, I have an objective to win. And my objective to win is to make sure that Cuomo and Adams get nowhere near this seat and be radically charged behind Mamdani. The issue I see for everyone is that many of you, I keep saying you guys because the idealism I have watched get in the way of so many things. You'll be locked into your principal positions and end up stuck with someone who violates your principles hard, right? So Mamdani is a chance for something different. I hope New Yorkers are willing to carry that energy from the primary into the general, not be led astray by the things that are going to be coming, because it's going to be a lot more than just the racism.
Yep, you're talking about Islamophobia.
Something.
He did something. He cheated on a test in the 3rd grade, so y'all can't trust him. But meanwhile, Eric Adams,
they're going to find something.
I mean, dude is basically off charges because Trump made him free so he could do his will. I don't live in New York. I lived there for like 6 months. And I came back because it's just too much of an expensive city. But y'all tripping if y'all like Eric Adams for another term.
I would say that same argument stands for how the guy who's in the Oval Office got there. We were all tripping to let him in. And we did it because we were standing on our various principled views. And I'm not saying don't have principles, Tracy. You know me. I'm so moralistic, it's ridiculous in many cases. But I want to win. I want to win, and I want to win with the best opportunity to let me build. So get that knucklehead. If it's Mamdani, get him in there. Understand that the Mamdani who's running will not be the Mamdani who governs.
That's what I was going to get to. You just said thank you. And that's what I want to talk about is people don't get your hopes up. Don't do it. You have to. When you, first of all, you need to be voting. I don't care where you live at. You need to vote. That's the bare minimum you can do. Like that's the very least little thing you can do. But then you have to hold them accountable and keep holding them accountable and keep holding them accountable.
And keep doing your work.
Exactly. The work. I say this all the time. If Cornel West had pulled off the greatest upset of all time, become our 47th president, my work was not going to stop. It wasn't. I'm just not going to just stop working because, I got my way. Ha ha. Look at me. We pulled out the biggest upset in history. Let's party. No, it's time to work. So the people in New York, the 50,000 volunteers that he has, they got to get 10,000 more volunteers.
Not only that, I'm 100% with you. I'm going to throw once again my pragmatic view, which could be wrong. I'm just going to put that out there. But when you vote, it does matter how you vote. So decide what is it that you want to achieve, whatever that is, because we all have different things. especially on the left. We're very, so decide what are the key, say 3 things that you really need, you really want, right? You might want Medicare for all. You might want to overturn the 13th Amendment. You might want to do something to get rid of this Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your interests are. But then when you go vote, whether you're voting at the state level or at the national level, ask yourself, how does my vote get me closer to what I want? Stop with this grandstanding. If what you're doing is going to take you further from what you want to achieve, why are you doing it? Decide what you're after and move in that direction. And I really like what's happening in New York. I think it's a sign of hope for the third party community, as well as the young Democrat community that are trying to raise their own new Tea Party type movement. Get with other people and push. Stop trying to do everything by yourself.
And also have, and this is the other problem I said I had with Zeron. Where the black agenda? I did.
Why does it need one?
Because New Yorkers have black people there.
It does, but he doesn't have an agenda for any other group that I've heard.
No, okay, so when I say where's the black agenda, this is and I said this yesterday on my Justice is Here podcast. Too many times third-party candidates, all they want to talk about is class.
They do, yes.
Y'all, white supremacy is the root of all the problems that we have, in my view.
Not all of it, but yeah, huge issue. It's part of the identity.
Yeah, it's a huge part.
Yeah.
When you adopt when black people do well, everybody does well.
Yes. Here's the thing. For those who don't know me, I am pro-black. Unabashedly, unapologetically, I am pro-black. But when I'm talking in the political space, I try to push these things just so you can kind of see where I'm coming from. When we say, where is his black agenda? If he had a queer agenda, like an express queer agenda, or he had an express Latino agenda, or an express Muslim agenda, then I would say, where is your express black agenda? Because we are a major portion of your voting base if you're going to run on the Democratic side of the ticket.
Right.
But his thing, from what I have seen, is very much class-based, and it's very much based on how do I take care of everybody. He is intentionally staying away from any aspect of the racial or cultural argument because he knows, due to his name and his faith and his appearance, the moment he stakes a claim, he will be labeled as everything opposite to what he said. So he doesn't have a black agenda that I'm aware of, not one publicly stated, because he doesn't have a Jewish agenda. Because the moment he picks a group, you know that's what they're going to do to him. Because they're already trying to do it to him.
I get where you're coming from, but for me, I'm just so tired. And I'm talking specifically third-party candidates. He's not a third, he's a Democrat.
Right, he's
just like
Democrat.
You said, he's a Democrat. I don't expect him to come out and say reparations for black people. If a Democrat says that and gives me an amount, please, I will vote for that Democrat all day, every single day of the week. I promise I will. I don't expect it. It would be nice. It'd be nice if you would, think. It'd be nice if, and I know Blakely, her name is Blakely. I follow her on TikTok. She said exactly the same thing that I said. Third-party voters, third-party candidates seem to be scared to go into the black community.
No, they don't consider us worth the effort. It ain't that they're scared. So that's why I'm saying, if you want to bring in the black vote, especially the Gen X millennial.
Yes, because he's going to need that to win.
These crews, all of us, less Gen X because we're a little bit older, but we're still a sizable portion of the voting population. And we're at that age group that carries votes, right? So if you want us to come over to a third party, your third parties have to do a better job of actually standing for something. Each time that I'm, we're not just your platform, yours is the best one because you do an amazing job of putting third parties in front of everyone. But when I happen against some of the other videos, it's the same thing. What are you going to do? I don't want just your dream. Stop with the dream casting, right? The reality is, if you win anything, you will have to govern. How will you govern when you know everyone will be against you? And no one wants to really answer those questions. And until you do, you're not going to get penetration into the Black community. You're just not going to have it because we want to know who can win, So I don't think it's necessarily beneficial for a mayor to have a Black agenda. I don't. Unless he's going to start picking groups. If he starts picking groups, then you better have my group listed, right? But if you're not picking groups and you're really going to manage the city and you're going to treat all New Yorkers as New Yorkers, then I don't need you to come up with a Black agenda. But if you're going to run for Congress, you trying to be in the House or the Senate,
you
or
get
you want
a
to be the
federal
president,
office, you don't got nothing. Let's do another study. Boy, if you don't get out my face.
But let's just be real, because we haven't gotten the ball moved far down the path, and there's a lot of reasons for it, and I won't bore your audience with it. That's why we keep coming back to having to do another study, because the first studies never get done. Like they say, well, we're going to do a study just to throw off the scent, but they don't actually do anything.
Yeah, we want you to do something. Say it out. Now, Thieves, I'm gonna tell you something about my cousin Nelson. He's not an AOC Bernie fan, so this comment makes perfect sense for him to say this. The only thing that's worried me about Mandami is he has that weasel and progressive hypocrite AOC pretending to back him up while trying to influence him to Nelson.
I mean, that's his take, and I can see, but coming at that, because I've not just this comment that your cousin just shared, but also what I see on different, because I spend a lot of time in the sub threads. I know I shouldn't, but I get sucked into them. No one's good enough, because the people who are wanting change are so idealistic that they haven't bothered to do the math of the trade-offs and the compromises that exist in order to get something done. They expect someone to just go in with force of will, like a Trump, and just say, I'm gonna do this thing. And I'm sorry, that's not how it works. It's only working for Trump, and we don't even like Trump. So why would we want someone else to even try to act
Trump
like
doesn't care if you don't like Trump.
Trump doesn't care because he put the things in place and he's ran on it for 10 years. So you can't even come at him and say to him, I didn't expect. Yes, you did. He told you he was going to do it. That's your silly behind who chose not to listen to him. But we're on the left. On the left, we care about mutual benefit. We care about actually helping people. We have different ways to get at it. That's why we can't coordinate ourselves on the left. But we all generally believe in helping each other. Right? Strive for the highest mountain, but let's make sure no one falls in the valley. Right? That's kind of how the left moves. But I'm watching people who would formerly call themselves progressives now abandoning the name progressive. I'm watching people who held Bernie up as this mythical figure for like 8 years, and now all of a sudden Bernie's not good enough. I'm watching people who didn't send reinforcements, who didn't go out there and campaign for extra support to send in there to help AOC and the rest of the progressive caucus thing, now saying, you sold out. Well, the only way they could exist for the last 15, 16 years is they had to start playing the game because they didn't have any backup. He didn't send any backup. So now it's like AOC ain't good enough. Bernie ain't good enough. Mamdani, he ain't even got in the seat yet. And people are already saying, man, I can already see that he ain't going to be quite right. Like, bro, who can do the job?
I see what you're saying, but there are specific things that both I and Nelson agree about that I'm like, I mean, I'll tell you why I dropped the term progressive, and then we got to move on to our next topic. When Hillary Clinton called herself a progressive, I said, you know what, never again. Nah, this lady, there's
See how
nothing.
easy you were distracted?
Yeah,
She is
everything.
not qualified to call herself a progressive.
But
If
she
there's
said,
anybody who's a corporate Democrat, it's her.
But that's what she said.
But it doesn't matter. You
it
own
mattered.
progressive.
Right.
She
Well,
doesn't. She tried to steal it.
Let me finish though. Well, I'm
sorry.
telling you, when she said that, I said I'm done with this title. Because I gotta call myself, I can't just, I call myself a child of God. That's who Tracy is. That's what
So
I'm at
does
my
Hillary.
core.
Are you gonna reject that?
I'm talking about what I call myself. I don't know what she calls herself.
You used to call yourself a progressive. She then came in and called herself a progressive.
And I said no.
But she called herself that. And you're allowing that to color your view of, can I continue to carry this banner of being a progressive?
Right, because it's been co-opted. That's what I'm talking about.
But the people who do not follow Christ's teachings or Christ's message are also calling themselves Christ followers. Are you willing to abandon calling yourself a Christ follower? I hope the answer is no.
No.
But they're still trying to do it. The people who least epitomize your faith have stolen the face of your faith.
How did this turn into a discussion?
Oh, because you brought it up. Only
because I just say I did. If I'm going to identify myself as anything, that's when I'm going at first. But in terms of politics, this is what both, and the Republicans do this too. When a movement starts happening, Black Lives Matter. Black people have been asking for a black hate crime bill for decades. Decades. The Democrats bought off some dang on kente cloth. Are you serious?
No, we got hate crimes. We got hate crime.
There's no black hate crime bill.
It's that the hate crime bill, the hate crime law and statutes that exist is expressly because of us. Right. The problem is they took it and rose the bar so high that no one seems to meet the bar unless it's like crazy. Like you got to take out a black body and scream the N-word at the same time for the FBI to be like, yeah, that's a hate crime. So the laws there is just, of course, for all things for us, it gets
watered down.
Who you're up against.
Yeah, so I don't like terms, and that's why it's hard for me to say, I would say I'm a Marxist, but then I got to explain what Marxism means to people.
You should. If you claim to be a Marxist,
I'm not claiming it because one, I don't understand.
I'm not saying you are.
The tenets.
I'm just saying if anything that you decide to, any cloak you put on,
I should be able to explain.
You're going to be what is Dr. West's party?
Justice for all.
Justice for all. If you're going to say I am justice for all, then you need to be, at any time someone asks you, ready to speak and defend your position, because you're basically proselytizing and trying to help people see the merits of that which you're into so that you can swell your numbers. That's your job. You're supposed to be an adversary for the party, right? If you're a Democrat, you're going to put that cloak on, then you need to come out there and you concede a few points because you know how bad the party is, but you also have to say, well, this is what we are trying to do. This is what we are doing. Like too many times, especially on the left, and I'm guilty of this. We're all guilty of this. We want to back away from any responsibility and accountability. We only want to criticize because criticism is cheap. Criticism is free.
But work is hard. Work to change things is difficult. Oh, he's answering your question, but I'll get to Nelson's comment here in a second. I want to talk about the media, and then we're going to definitely move on to Trump. And I don't understand why this man just let JD Vance be president. Just go away. I'm sorry, but I can't. But I'll talk about that. I can't, dude. You can't even put a sentence together at this point. What are you saying?
When has he ever?
No, he used to could put sentences together.
No, not since the 90s. That man has been.
I'm like, dude, what did you say? What, huh? So he says that's because Bernie Sanders pretended to be a progressive for his benefit by directing the people back to Democrats. It took people 2 times for this to happen to wake up.
I don't think that that's accurate. And the reason why I say I don't think that's accurate is because Bernie predates being called a progressive. Bernie's whole thing was being a democratic socialist and being an independent. That was his whole marker. That's what he was. That's what he is to this day. He's never come off of what it is that he's labeled himself to be. Other people who were inspired by the energy of Bernie and actually caring about the class warfare that's going on created the title progressive. And then eventually that term galvanized into actually being an identity. And so you end up having progressives run for office and become the progressive caucus. But Bernie predates all of that. Progressives adopted Bernie. Bernie has always just been Bernie. And I'm not a Bernie fan. Tracy will tell you. But
and let's
Bernie,
not bring up Jill Stein. Oh my gosh. I'm like, leave her. She didn't do nothing to you. Like, she literally did nothing.
She didn't do nothing to me, and she's done nothing for me. You had a good run. You attempted. You tried. You worked hard. Now move. If you want this thing, that's why I keep coming back to for the third parties. You guys got to cut off all these extra arms you got going on. If you want third parties to be taken seriously, then you need to get a stronger third party. Right now, you got like 3-4 people running around very similar, and no one can choose which one to go with because you're spread all the votes out.
And so, I think we live in a country of 350 million people. You can't put them into two parties.
I agree with you, but
I think also, there should be. I look at England. I think
there should be a parliamentary system, but I don't make the rules.
Yeah, I look at other countries where they have 5 and 6 different parties, and they get in there and vote just fine.
Because they have a parliamentary system that's actually their structure. So let's get the people in place and then change it to a parliamentary system. Because this 2-party thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we can agree on that. So I want to talk about the media role in this Mandami thing. And I'm gonna make this real quick because I want to actually move on to Trump and like, dude, you can't put a sentence together. What's wrong with you? The media is having a freak out fest. I have watched clips of Morning Joe saying that he's made threats. He's pro-Hamas. I'm like, dude, they're just literally saying things. Even if you looked at Mandami's website, you would know aren't true. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be a news organization? I don't know, just present these things called the facts. They're just out here just saying anything. Just,
TMZ.
You know what? I think I would get more unbiased news from TMZ than Morning Joe.
Oh, yeah. Morning Joe is.
I'm like, dude, you sitting there, dude, or just lying on the me. He made remarks. Congressman Swalwell, I don't want to be, he made anti-Semitic remarks. When? What's the remark he made? I don't know, but no, you got to know. You made the accusation. What was the remark that he said? And somebody tell a Christian Gillibrand, girl, set your trifling behind down someplace. If I was in New York, oh my goodness, lady, I'm glad that Mandami's supporters came and protested outside her office when she went on that rant. It was terrible. Yeah, find it. She went. I mean, I know the media likes to frame things as if you say anything against Israel, you're anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's how you're going to have to label me, because, I mean, minus the fact that my savior is Jewish, but hey, that's just a little bitty fact. It's like because he stands with the Palestinians, somehow that makes him anti-Semitic. Makes no sense to me, because I'm like, it's a difference between being against the government, and being against the people. I'm for the people of the United States, but our government is terrible.
Right. But the thing is, it's not up to you. So the best thing that you can do, this is what I've done. I listen to the media and acknowledge that they're not talking to me. I look at the media as when they're talking, they're talking in my presence and I'm hearing what they're saying, but I recognize they're literally not talking to me. They're not concerned about my viewpoint. They're not concerned about the complexities of my issues. They don't care. They're talking to each other, and we just get to listen in on it. Right? Because there's the reality of the matter, which is the what do you call it? The Semitic people. Jewish people are not the only Semitic people.
Exactly.
So how can one Semitic group be anti-Semitic? It doesn't make sense. But see, that's using logical basis, and they don't care about that. They're using messaging. And we watched our Congress, right? The Congress of the United States, trying to make it so that if you say you are anti-Zionist,
right,
you are now saying you are anti-Semitic.
And they're two different things.
Two different things. To be a Zionist is a political position. It's not even a religious position. So to be against the Zionists is like saying you're against Democrats or you're against Republicans, right? So it's a flavor. Actually, it's more like saying you're against conservatives or against liberals. Like that's better. So that's what that equivalent is. But that doesn't play well because the masses of Americans are not sitting down consuming this stuff. They're just catching it as it drips and drabs. So they're going off the energy and the vibes. And the vibes are, we are supposed to support Israel no matter what. Those are the vibes. So America backs Israel, period. Now, from there, people start layering in their subconscious and indoctrinated belief systems. Like, if you're a Christian, you're supposed to support the Jewish people because those are God's chosen people. That's one interpretation, but there's another interpretation that says that the lineage of David is what's like the one after God's own heart, and he blessed the seed of Abraham, which precedes David precedes
Abraham, David.
Right. So if you believe in it that way, then it's not about a nation, right? The nation of Israel was the bloodline. It was it wasn't the borders of any country. So if that's the case, then you don't have to support the nation of Israel. You are supposed to support the lineage of David. So it's like
it's a discussion. It shows how ill-educated, and I'm saying ill-educated. It's not a word, but oh well. I think Marlon's gonna beat it. I don't think he's gonna come. I don't think he's gonna come because I'm thinking, oh yeah, waiting, but he's not gonna come because I'm about to end real quick. But how poorly Christian Zionists are miseducated and they misinterpret, and they do that.
Pretty much all the Christians are miseducated, and that's the case.
I like to think of myself as educated.
You can think of yourself any way you want to. I'm just saying that when you start getting really into it, we all have our interpretations and our flavors. Right. I'm not saying a lot of people who are truly following the gospel of Jesus, no matter how much they say they believe in it. Watch how fast they'll fall off. Watch how fast they'll say, I'm gonna take off my Holy Ghost. Watch how fast they say he's still working on me. Watch how fast they'll say,
he knows my heart.
Ain't perfect, I'm still trying to get better. Watch how fast they say all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, as though that's an escape clause for not actively trying to walk in Jesus's shadow. See what I'm saying? So we all got some issues.
Right, but here's my larger context though is those same people show up to vote. This is where I'm getting at. And when they show up to vote with that, well, God gave Abraham the land, I would say that the Bible also says that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. I would also say the cattle on 10,000 hills belongs to him. I would also say, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life.
Jewish actionaries, they're of the particular faith that don't even acknowledge Jesus anyway.
I know, but I'm saying if I'm talking to a Christian Zionist, that's why I said Christian Zionist. If I'm talking to a Jewish person, I'm having a whole different conversation.
And Christian Zionists are interesting to me because Christian Zionists, for me, they're like a glorified death cult. because
They really are. They want to. Yeah.
they want to usher in the end of the
Yeah,
world.
it's like, yeah, all the Jews, but show me that. Don't never cite Nan script. Like, show what I say to y'all. Show me the text. Show me the text that you're talking about, because I ain't getting it. I've asked.
And then you got people like me, reformed Christians, if you will, and I kicked the habit, but it's still in me, right? Um, why must anyone feel like their belief system is worthy to be imposed upon someone else?
That's why. That's another point. Thank you.
Yeah. So like the nation of Israel, let's just take the claim that they say this land was our forefathers. What other people group on the planet gets to do that?
I want to know what 23andMe test they going to prove that. Like, what test you taking? What's DNA? Literally, people don't think like this. But what I'm trying to get at is when these people go to vote, politicians play on that ignorance, right? They play on it. And instead of reading for yourself and studying for yourself and asking questions, you just, well, he supports Israel, so therefore I'm going to vote. No, they don't support. They do what AIPAC tells them because AIPAC is giving them money.
And AIPAC serves the political state of Israel. And so for me, is whatever religious text you guys decide to hold to. I don't hold to any religious text. I can speak to you. I'm conversing in it just because I used to believe all of that. But whatever text you hold to, try the spirit by the spirit. Okay. Are you epitomizing or reflecting the spirit of the faith that drew you to it? And if you're not, then some questions really need to be asked.
So whenever Christians are in this, because they know how to find me, I'm like, nope, earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof. Cattle on 10,000 hills belongs to him. He said, blessed are the peacemakers. He said, live peaceably with all men. You're not going to.
But he also said, right? But he also said, go and take this land and kill everything on it.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, so my thing is just like, if Judaism is your faith, then walk in the spirit of your faith. If Christianity is your faith, walk in the spirit of Christianity. And respect the fact for those of us who do not govern our lives by a book that we don't follow. Stop trying to make us follow it.
Yeah, because even the Bible says that if you witness somebody, they say, I don't want to hear, okay, kick the boots off and go with somebody else. Right. I may not be the one. It may be somebody that comes behind me that's better suited to tell you than I am.
Let your faith dictate your ways, but don't let your faith dictate mine.
I be trying, but these Christians, I'm like, y'all be making me scratch my head. Y'all talking about literally killing thousands of Jews so Jesus could back. Really? Y'all really going? Okay, make it make sense. I'm gonna keep on quoting Sabby Sabs. Make it make sense.
Before you pivot off, okay? I just want, because you were talking about this man used to speak incomplete sentences. So pardon me, guys. I'm old. I gotta put eyes on. Okay, but I'm just going real quick, short part. Our country is counting on it. This is the biggest. This is it. Our country can go in a horrible, horrible direction, or an even greater direction. And before the plague came in from China, that's where we were going. We were going in a direction like we had never seen. The most successful economy in the history of our country. The best unemployment numbers in history for African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, blah, 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 a whole bunch of stuff. Now, this man speaks in gobbledygook.
He sure
He's
does.
Always spoken.
But
in
I'm saying it's gotten worse. It's gotten progressively worse. I'm like, oh, child. Because here's the point of just being honest and transparent. I used to watch The Apprentice. I know I ain't proud of it, but I'm just telling you. I used to watch it. He was speaking complete sentences. I'm like, oh, okay, I can understand.
He was following a script.
Probably. But I think he
catered to him.
When he talks, I'm like, bro, what you saying? Could you say? Say that again. It's like I keep saying, well, maybe if I read it, it'll make more sense. It's not. This man ain't making no sense. Y'all used to. That's why I said, you know what? Just give us JD Vance. He's
The only
beatable.
way Trump makes sense is you have to listen to him, because when he's talking, you're able to pick up the subtext and the vibe and all that stuff. Because that's
yeah,
what
if you
does.
read it, you be like,
if you read it, you're like,
what in that? And it's like, it's not even what, like, I can understand a 2-year-old better. Like, I can
it's
literally,
bad.
it's
bad.
like he talks baby talk. He literally talks how people talk with the googie gaga, making all them sounds for a baby.
He'll do it too. Yeah. Boom, bang, bing, bang.
Why the press follows him? Just stop. Don't follow him. No, I don't care. Don't follow him no more.
We said we wanted him to be president. He's the president.
Follow somebody else.
I don't think we did. I think there's plenty of proof out there. Like when you look at the state of New York and you got multiple areas that Kamala didn't get not one vote.
You're going to have to prove it. I want proof.
I
would say that when Trump started talking about the election was stolen, I'm like, I want proof. I'm going to say the same thing.
But here's the problem. This is why I don't really feed too much into it, but I'm just saying, come on, guys. It's game, set, match. Okay? Because
but y'all didn't pull a January 6th, though. Thank you.
Yeah, but even if you could prove,
it's not going to change.
It won't change because
they're not going to remove him from office.
You let this man become president. Okay, so if you get rid of him, you get JD. JD is worse than Trump.
He is, but I can understand the senses he's saying.
I don't care. I mean, a better spoken demon is not better than a gibberish demon. Saying. So, but you get rid of Trump through the 25th Amendment, you get rid of Trump, you end up with JD. All right. So now you have JD. JD gets to pick somebody to come behind him. I don't know if there's any rules about the vice president being born a U.S. citizen. I'd have to look that up.
It's the same rules as the president.
Okay. So he'll find somebody else. Okay. So now you got whatever cluster of a mess you end up with JD as president and his masters behind him. But they say, okay, well, wait, maybe we can prove the election was stolen and we'll pull the whole administration out. Okay. So now you get rid of JD, you get rid of Trump, but you still have Speaker Mike Johnson.
Unless the Democrats win the primaries.
What are you talking about, if they overturn the election?
No, if they turned over the election, you still have 2026 coming.
Yeah, I'm talking about right now.
Oh, you're talking about like if it happened today. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And then 2026 is not a presidential election.
But it's a congressional. It's midterms.
Right. But my thing is, what's the rule where if you were to overturn this election at this point and you suck the entire administration out, you can't just say Kamala will come in because you can't prove she won, right? That's part of the whole mess. So who goes in? The line of succession means the Speaker of the House would move in. And behind the Speaker of the House is, I think, is the Secretary of Defense. So
Mark Rubio.
I don't think Secretary of State comes before Secretary of Defense, but he might. But either way, look at our options.
Wait a minute. I'm going to look it up. Because I'm thinking, well, if they win the midterms, then that would be Hakeem Jeffries. Oh, gosh. That'd be even worse.
I'd rather him than Mike Johnson. But, yeah, Hakeem Jeffries, I don't.
Wait a minute.
The great value version of Obama. I don't.
What is the line of succession for president? Okay, so they generating it. Okay, the United States president line of succession is the order in which government officials assume the powers and duties of the U.S. president. If the president leaves office or is unable to serve, the blah, 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 the 25th Amendment. Okay, so it's vice president, J.D. Vance, then House Representative Mike Johnson, then the president pro tempore, Chuck Grass. Oh, gosh. Oh, not Chuck.
That's who that is, because I don't know what a pro tempore president pro tempore
it is. Yeah, I'm like, oh, not Chuck Grassley.
And
Chuck
then
Grassley.
Secretary of State, there's your Rubio. Secretary of the Treasury, isn't that Besant or whatever his name is? Like,
there
we
ain't no
are
good options on this list.
we
Oh
are
my God.
so and then no, it wasn't Chuck Grassley. It was the guy in North Carolina who said he's not going to run for re-election. So the Republican Congress senator in North Carolina, he just announced, I think today, that he's going to vote against this horrible bill, and then he's not going to run for re-election because Trump said, I'm going to primary you.
Wait a minute. You have Vice President, Speaker of the House, President pro tempora of the Senate, Secretary of State Mark Rubio, Secretary of State Scott Bessent, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth.
Right.
Oh gosh, no.
Like, you have to go. And then the next one is the Attorney General. That's Pam Bondi.
Secretary of the Interior Doug
You
Bergman.
had to go through 7 layers, Tracy.
Oh
7.
my gosh. You don't even get down to Scott Turner till like 13th. Then the last person listed is the Secretary of Homeland Security, which is Kristi Noem.
Hey, don't worry. You got Linda McMahon sitting at dead number 16.
Oh my gosh.
So,
yeah, it ain't no good options on this list.
This is the consequence of not taking the last election serious. I'm sorry. It just is.
Oh my gosh, y'all. This list is terrible.
Yeah, we're locked in. The only way out of this is somebody else has to win the next presidency, which the only way to that is the midterm has to swing so hard to the Democratic Party, because there is no third party option just yet.
Not for midterms, no.
Right. So you got to you have to vote blue no matter who in the midterm if you want to have an election in 2028.
A chance.
This right here, this list.
Pete Hegseth, he can't even, Lord forgive me, but he can't stay sober.
The DUI hire.
He's literally off of Fox News. Trump would have been better appointing. No, I don't have any.
I think many of these people are off of Fox News too, because this cabinet is chock full of them. So I'm not trying to preach to the choir because we're past this. I get it. But this literally, folks, this is the consequence of not taking the last election as serious as we needed to. And so now I'm just asking us, please, in the midterm, don't be so disgusted that you don't show up. Please.
But do I really want Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House?
Do you want Mike Johnson?
I don't want either one of them.
That's not your choice.
I know you asking me to pick the lesser of two evils in my whole part.
Yes, I am. I'm needing people. I need people to grow up, okay? Because and I don't mean to. Well, actually, that is supposed to be pointed as it is. Grow up, everybody. What you want is irrelevant when that's not an option on the board, right? You know what your options are. Like, you know what the options are. It's not like you have other options. These are the options. So it's Hakeem Jeffries, completely ineffectual. Might as well have Democrat. Might as well wear a jacket that has Democrat on it, and then all the different companies that sponsor him all over it.
He sold his own uncle out. I'm like, dude.
He sold everybody out.
No, I mean,
it was terrible.
Watch the Savvy Sav video that she did in these deep dives. I know you don't watch her, but just watch that one. Because I'm like, that's his uncle, though.
I mean, hey, I need somebody who will be willing to go up against a family, though. Okay?
No, not in the way. Oh, no.
I'm not saying he's right. I can't think of too many things that Hakeem is right on. Because to me, and this might be unfair to this man, but to me, Hakeem Jeffries is the leader of the House Democrats in name only.
Oh, yeah, Nancy Pelosi pulling them strings. Nancy is pulling them.
Yeah, Nancy is still calling the shots.
When you in the hospital with a broken hip and you still saying AOC can't be the chair of a committee, you pulling the strings.
Exactly. When you have a firebrand like Jasmine Crockett out here doing the work for your party and she has no leadership position, you got AOC out here basically she has your party's on life support and AOC is still breathing in its mouth trying to keep it alive. And she has no authority, right? The Democratic Party is garbage. I get that. But you know what the Democratic Party is going to? This is what Hakeem Jeffries is not going to do. He's not going to try to legislate his faith into your life. He's not going to do it. He's not going to rubber stamp everything Trump tells him to do. He's not going to do it.
But here's my question. Would he rubber stamp? Let's just say it's 2028. He's Speaker of the House.
Kamala past 26 first.
I know, but we're just going to assume in my scenario, the Democrats are going to win the House.
Okay.
Because I don't, as much as independent as I am, even I don't think they could screw this up. They might prove me wrong. I'm like, even y'all can't screw this up.
If people don't show up, then it doesn't matter.
This is true. Didn't he rubber stamp what Biden was doing?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Now, I don't have a lot of, me personally, I don't have a lot of objections to anything Biden was doing except for Gaza. So, yeah, I don't have the highest expectations for a Democratic official. I just expect them to do better than Republicans, which they consistently do, according to my ideals. So there's that, right? But I'm saying 2026 needs to go hard left, not hard left as far as positional, because you know that the Democratic Party is not. The Democratic Party is just left of right. So they're not even center. Okay. The Democrats are to the right. They're just to the left of the Republicans. Right. But I would much rather have them in there because their policies are not set up to target poor people and disadvantaged people the way that the Republican Party is. So I would much rather have them there. So that my main complaint for the Democrats would be their international policy, but at least it wouldn't be their domestic policy. But the other part, and this may appeal to you, Tracy, and your followers, that gives us the best opportunity for something better to run in the 2028 election. So 2026 will buy you the cover to give us something better for 2028. 2026 falls and the Republicans hold, then there is no 2028. And that's not hyperbole. That's not me trying to speak doom and gloom. That's them telling you what they're doing. They told you, right? So buy the time, but with that time, let's do something with it, right? Justice for All Party, consume the Green Party, consume whatever the what is a Forward Party, eat them up, swallow them up, become the Justice for All Party that third party people coalesce under. And I guarantee you, if you'll do that, you will find disaffected Democrats like me will gladly come with you. But there's no way we're going to do that so long as you got Justice for All, Forward, and Green.
Argument I would say is we have plenty of loaves of bread and people still go in and buy the one they want.
Say again.
There are many brands of cars. There's Toyota, there's Ford, there's Chevrolet, there's
there's a lot of brands. Yeah.
I'm not, because I just think I'm for giving more choices because
it's fine.
No,
what do you want right now though? Like, how do you get that world? The world you say you want when we have more choices. Do you get that world following the MAGA playbook, which is written? It's not even like subject to interpretation. It's written and it's happening. They're literally playing it out. So do you get to your more options through them?
I think you get more options by relaxing or getting rid of ballot access because ballot access is cool.
Will the MAGA give you more ballot access?
No, neither party will.
No. Focusing on one party first. MAGA.
No, MAGA absolutely will not. Well, no, let me backtrack. If I'm going off of this past election, they actually, and I'm giving them credit where credit's not due. This pretty much literally the only thing I'm ever going to give them credit for is because they seeped into the libertarians because libertarians are very close to Republicans.
Libertarians are just Republicans.
Yes, they're just Republicans. But what Trump did, which I thought was effective, I'm giving Trump credit, is he went to their convention and he took some of what they were wanting and said, I'll put it in my platform. Now, yes, the man was a liar. If the Democrats just went to the Green Party,
so you're asking them to lie to you.
No, I'm not asking. I'm asking you to keep your promise, but we know every word out of Trump's mouth is a lie. He's not going to keep his promise. He never does.
But we also know the Democrats lie.
But what I'm saying is, if they made that appeal, because we third party voters vote on policy.
No,
We
they
do
don't.
not vote for people. We vote on policy. If you
Mhm.
get the policies we want and you keep to us,
Mhm.
literally, if I heard a Democrat say, I want reparations for Black Americans at $250,000, they're getting my vote. I'm gonna be in the streets
Mhm.
volunteering for them. I'm gonna do everything
Okay.
I can to get them
So if a
elected.
politician came out and said that, they would get 90%
No,
of the black vote,
they're
and
not
they
gonna get
would
anybody else, but
and
I
they would
know
lose a
that.
whole lot. Yes.
I
So,
know that.
but that's what I'm getting at, Tracy, and this is where you and I have always had a rub. I agree with much of the idealism that you hold. I share it. But you refuse to use any practicality. You refuse to acknowledge that reality is what you must contend with. You have to contend with it. So if you want these things, one, you got two bad options, right? Because like you always say, two, worse with lesser of the two evils, right? Show me where in history you've had an election where you could choose between good and evil.
We have it.
Exactly. So if you're waiting for that
No,
to make
that's why
your
we're
vote,
party building now.
you're not. I mean, you are and you aren't. Okay. And the reason why I say that's like you are because you're talking to each other and you're doing a lot of that work, but you're not because when you and those like yourselves, and I follow a lot of their content, they're not realistic. Like they're not even. There's like they're literally suspending reality.
Give
Okay, because
me an example.
what I asked you, I said I agreed with you that we need more options, right? We need more parties to have the ability to get their voice into the public square. We need that. Now, I also say that's fine. We actually have that. You can have as many parties as you want to, and you can have your voice all over the place if you want to. But that doesn't mean you can win, right? So you want us to have more options on the table. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now, out of the world we live in, how do we get there? And you can't really answer that because the reality is you're going to have to go through MAGA or go through the Democrats at this moment where we are in this chapter in time. So saying I'm not going to deal with either one of them, I'm just going to build a third party because it's nice to talk to each other and it's nice to, talk in this echo chamber and shake each other's hands and shug and hug and talk about all the wonderful things we want in life. But you can't win. So if you can't win, what are we doing here? Let's get you the space you need so that you can win. We need the Democratic Party to go away. Okay? it's run its course. But you don't have a third party or even two or three third parties that are ready to come into the space, take the Democratic space without splitting the vote to the point that the Republicans just walk away with it.
I get what you're saying. But Nelson, see, what you did was you watched yesterday's show. Um, there was a discussion, these you don't know this, but there was a discussion yesterday about me running for office and how much of a joke that I think that is. So I wasn't going to announce it on this show, but August the 15th, that third Saturday in August, I'm having a listening session.
Cool.
Should I?
I think you should run. Do I agree with all your positions? Absolutely not. But I think you should run. I sincerely do. But my thing is, are you running for president or are you running for somewhere in the state?
No, the president.
If you were going to do it, I know.
Yeah, there's no way president of the United States is off the table. Wouldn't do it. There's no way.
So then, if you're talking third party runs at the municipal, city, state level,
or federal,
I mean, you could do it at the federal, right? Because at the federal, you could conceivably be an independent. You can. So I'm all for it. But when a third part, the third parties are talking about wanting to take the big seat. And I'm saying before you go get the big seat, you need to have some backup because you can get Cornel West in office as president and he got nobody to vote for him, nobody to vote with him. Anything he suggests, they burn it down. It doesn't accomplish anything. Send that man some help. Stop setting people up for failure. We don't have superheroes. Okay, send some help.
And I think I need to do more listening, because I'm at the point I'm like, I don't see it. I just can't see it, and apparently people are seeing something in me that I don't see.
Well, that's usually the best way to prove that someone's is supposed to do something. It is the reluctant leader, right?
Yeah, and I'm real reluctant because I'm like, it's way better people. That person.
You know, I wrestle with this, Tracy. I know I don't come on here talking about it and stuff, but I wrestle with that. And I've kept myself out of a lot of opportunities because I believe there are so many more people far better than me to do whatever the thing is. And that's a personal issue. That's a confidence issue. That's all those things. But the reality is, who's good enough in office right now? No one. Anyone who out there, we attack every last one of them.
Yeah, and
I'm putting myself in the big we. We attack all of them.
Mm.
So if no one's good enough, how are you not good enough? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think mine is I'm more that dreamer that you talked about. How would I govern? I don't know. And until I can answer the I don't know question.
Well, I mean, if you're willing to learn and you acknowledge that power comes with consequences and trade-offs, then that being a dreamer is a good thing. The problem is we have all of these dreamers who don't have any sense of accountability. So they want Zoran to go and become mayor and make the buses free and make sure that every kid gets a free lunch and make sure there's a chicken in every pot and all these things. We want him to do all of those things. How?
Yeah.
Oh, but when he doesn't do it, when he fails because he's going to have everyone against him, now he's going to be labeled a sellout. He's going to be labeled a failure.
And that's what I will be. Well, actually, the two people that suggest this, I told them I'll make my Zoom room available, but they're doing all the legwork. I'm just going to be there.
We got to give them a little bit more than that. They're supporting you, Tracy.
No, I want to be convinced. You're going to have to convince me, because right now at this point, I still think this is a terrible idea.
Hey, I'll tell you it to you the way that I tell young people when I'm talking to them.
Because I'm old.
Whatever. When I'm saying I'm talking to young people, I'm talking about like these college age kids and younger, right?
That's me. Whatever
your dream is, go after it. You might not do that thing, right? You say you want to be an NBA basketball player. We know the odds.
Yeah.
But somebody has to get through. So yes, go for it. Push it to the limit. Be the best, right? And what you may find along the way is you know what? I could make more money being an agent. I could make more money being a lawyer. I could make more money, right? And now here you are, but you only would have considered those other options because you were trying to be in the NBA. So you may decide, hey, well, others decide for you, and then you follow their lead, because that's what good leaders do. They follow their followers. And then you go out there and you run for mayor. And then instead of getting mayor, you become the head of city council. That might be the lane you need to be in. Or instead of becoming mayor, you actually make connections with some nonprofit out there that's far bigger than you can think of. And they like your ideas and they put you in a position of leadership. Wasn't what you were going for, but where you landed allows you to do more than what you were planning to do before. So that's what I'm saying. Don't close your eyes to it. Don't close your ears to it. It may not be your calling. It may be, but it may also walk you closer to what God has for you too.
Now you're going to bring God in it.
Hey man, God's always in it. Just because I'm not a Bible thumper doesn't mean that he ain't in me, man.
You think I'm a Bible thumper?
Huh?
Well, yeah, I kind of am.
No, I don't classify you as a Bible thumper. You don't walk around throwing Romans 3:16. You don't do that.
Yeah, because half the
But
time I'm like, I know it's in there. It might be in this one or it might be in this one, but it's in there.
right. Yeah.
But I think it's a lot to consider. And it's the responsibility. And I'll say this to Nelson and everybody else watching. If I run, I win. I'm tired of moral victories. I can't no more. No, 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 no. Winning to me means getting more votes than the others. I'm here to take votes away from the other candidate. That's my job. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not scared of you. I don't care. APAC, you can bring it. I'll bring it right back at you. I don't care. Now, it does not mean I'm running, but I am having this listening session just to kind of get an idea of what people not think of me, because your opinion to me doesn't matter, but just the idea.
You're gonna have to work on your approach.
Yeah, I know my approach is terrible. See, these things I know about myself, but when you're the perfect candidate, no, I'm not.
No, you might be.
My approach stinks. But we have a president that literally drops F-bombs.
Just that little piece. Just that little piece. I was just saying that little piece. The rest of that, take all that with you. Your flavor is what carries the day.
I am not Jesus. I can't do what he can do. I can't. Y'all know I'm gonna pop off. I'm gonna pop off. You get in my face, I'm gonna get right back in yours.
That's cool. Look at Jasmine.
I'm just not gonna say, well, say whatever you want. She's a socialist. Yes, I am. And your problem with that is what?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Now, here's what I'll say to you, though. And I only just as a quick pivot. So when you say that you're a socialist, what is being a socialist?
To me, being socialist means you care about people. That you look at home.
Socialism is.
I know. I'm saying what I think it is. I know there's a definition to socialism, but what I think of socialism is that, one, the government is not in this game to make a profit. Next person I hear, the government should be making a profit. No, the government is not ran like your household budget. It don't work like that. The government is not here to make a profit. That should not be the function of government at all. Socialism is making sure that in general people are taken care of. Now I know there's a definition out there, but I'm talking about what I'm saying.
If you're going to claim to be a thing, you need to know what that thing is so that you're comfortable being able to speak on all sides of it, right? Because socialism is really about who owns the means of production.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, right? I mean, I know that, but I'm like,
and you got socialism. And a lot of times, especially here in America, because we're so ill-educated, as you put earlier, we hear socialism and we think communism. But no, communism is the sister to democracy, and socialism is the sister to capitalism. One's an economic model, one's a social model, right? So I think that's a huge part of
that's another thing.
I don't know how you even get across to people because people don't want to know.
People don't want to hear it. I'm against socialism. Okay, take away your social security check and see how that works.
I mean, if we're going to be honest with it, and this is like, I understand why people like, Zoran and others, they say, I'm a socialist. One, I truly believe that they've read Marx and they understand how this stuff works. But they have to draw a line in the sand because they don't want to seem too nuanced because then people get lost.
Then people be like, what you say? Just like when people say neo-fascism. If y'all don't stop saying
that is. Neo-fascism, like, neoconservative.
Neocon. I'm like, what? Just say they playing in your face. Just say something I can get. I'm not stupid. I'm not. But they ain't gonna y'all with this, the military industrial. No, stop all these wars. Say that instead of all this other stuff y'all say. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I got a lot of stuff to work on, which we all do.
Well, I'm not saying it as a criticism. I'm just saying that
when we're saying it as a criticism.
Yeah. When we're engaging in these conversations, we have to have a little bit more basis for what we're talking about. You don't have to be an expert, right? Because I don't ever want people to think you got to be an expert to open your mouth. That's not the case. But I do wish we can get back to the days where if you don't know what you're talking about, you know not to say nothing.
Or ask.
Right.
That's just what I did with MMT. I was like, I don't know, but I'm gonna bring somebody on here who does, and let me just sit here and ask them questions.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you.
But I do briefly. I was gonna talk about Trump, but the time is getting late.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Yes, Nelson, I'm doing that, but I haven't heard anything, and I keep going back and forth and back and forth. And that's the other thing. I'm going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and I don't like it. But I will continue to do so.
Can I toss something at you on that? So
Yes.
first of all right, when it comes to prayer, I'm not a really big person on prayer. To me, prayer is just another term for meditation, right? But according to my faith, when God moves in your life, he sends confirmation. That's something that I've taken from Christianity. When God moves in your life, he sends, I'm using the term he, I personally don't feel like God has a gender, but anyway, but when
Well,
God
God is
moves,
spirit. Well, then I'm gonna shut up.
yeah, but
Did
you know how
nobody?
we go. They, they,
Yeah.
they, they genderized God, but anyway, but it sends confirmation. So sometimes if you're waiting to hear God speak to you, you will miss the message he has for you. Because sometimes he'll put people
Yeah, that's
around
the other thing. I'm like, well, all these
or
people telling me
circumstances.
something. Why do y'all telling me something? Is this your clue? Is this you doing it?
When Jesus said, Peter, on this day you will deny me 3 times. And Peter's like, oh no, I'll never deny you. Oh, not me. No. Now some of these other people, I don't know, but me, Jesus, not me. And what happened? Do you
Rooster
know that
crowed
man?
three
I don't
times and he
know.
denied him. Who? I don't know. Who?
I got to live so I can
Yeah,
tell
and
the
that's
story.
another thing I had to. Yeah, there's a lot for me to weigh, but it's not an easy decision, especially when people are prodding you and saying, "Yeah, you be perfect." I don't think I be perfect. We know I have problems.
Fine. Don't be perfect. Be effective.
Yeah, that's there too. Because if you could imagine, let me get this quick scenario, and then I'll move to my very last subject. Let's just say I run against Andre Carson, who sits on the 7th district
Oh,
seat.
your cousin? Is that
He's not actually related to us at all. But yeah, we have exactly the same name. So me running Carson 2026 is out because he's already got it on lock. So I had to come up with something else. But let's just say I pull off the greatest upset in Indiana political history. I'm now Congresswoman Tracy. First of all, I have to quit my job because now I'm a congressperson.
Mhm.
Then I had to find a place in Washington, D.C. to live because I'd be there 6 months out of the year.
Mhm.
Then I'm going to get put on the worst committee, the worst. I'm not going to get on House Ways and Means like I want to be.
Mhm.
I'm going to get put on some committee ain't got nothing to do with what I want. Nothing.
You're gonna be on like wheat and grain.
Yeah, just put me on put me on rural health. Even though rural health, I'm still going to propose Medicare for all. So I don't
They won't
know,
let you talk. Let's just be real.
whatever.
They won't let you talk.
Yeah. When am I going to get to talk? How am I going to? So that's where you have to like get the people who vote for you, say, hey, y'all call y'all friends and call these Congress people and say, that's when we talk about using Bernie using his space to get more, because he's got a massive list just activated. So that kind of thing has to be, people have to take that into account. I would get the worst, whatever that worst committee is, I'd be on it.
You see, what I think is beautiful about what you just laid out is you just admitted, in a manner of speaking, that you guys do know. You just choose not to acknowledge it. Because if you go into the House, we'll just say you go into the House. Same thing for Senate, but it's longer term. You go into the House, they're going to put you on a committee, and they're going to make sure that you are on an obscure committee, and they're going to keep you as far away from leadership as possible.
Yep.
So now you're not even able to propose bills. So since you can't propose a bill and you can't get the bill out of committee for the ones you do manage to co-sponsor, what's going to come back to your voting
I didn't
supporters?
do all that
You
dang
didn't do it.
thing. I
Right.
didn't do a thing.
So then you learn I have to stay quiet, mind my P's and Q's, so that I at least be a second term. So now that I'm in a second term, now I can be a little bit more vocal. If you didn't come out of a purely safe seat, right? So now I got to be more vocal. But you have spent 2 years saying nothing. So if you haven't been saying anything for 2 years, why should I listen to you now? So now you get sucked into the machine.
I think I would be effective to, have that mailing list and have that contact list and be like, yeah, put that pressure on these other people to listen to what Tracy is saying. I think I would be at least that smart. But yeah, I would get the worst, whatever that committee is. If it's the dental floss committee, that's what I'm gonna get. Yeah. But I would have to have the wherewithal to say, I don't care what committee you put me on. I'm gonna propose these bills, and if I got to stand outside the other committee meetings, be like, "Why y'all ain't sponsoring it?" and put it on TikTok, I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
Which is why you have people like Jasmine Crockett, Cori Bush, people like that, because they are facing what you're laying out, so they have to make noise.
Yeah, you had to make some noise.
Right? Because if I went to Congress, I'll tell you now, my whole job is just I'm there to be a snitch. Like I'm in there like, hey man, I tried to do this and they told me I couldn't do it, man.
I'm gonna be on. First thing I'm doing is calling Fox. Yeah, Jim Clyburn told me that if I didn't vote this way, he was gonna make sure I didn't get reelected. Period. Don't come.
I'm not here for reelection. I'm here to turn the lights on.
I'm here to make sure families are fed.
But to do that, so that's different. That's different. If you're elected to help get families fed, then you got to play the game. You got no choice. It ain't up to you. But if you're like me, I'm coming in there to turn the lights on. I already know I
can do both.
Reelected.
I can do both because I'm like, yeah, don't have no secret meetings with me because I'm gonna blast you out. I'm gonna call your full government name. I'm gonna call you that nickname that your mama was calling you when you acted.
And now you won't be invited to any meetings.
And
you won't be able to help get people fed.
That I came to make. I'm gonna quote AOC. When I say I'm coming to make a ruckus, I'm coming to make a ruckus.
Yeah, but AOC had to break through.
And we're not saying I'm going to do it. I want everybody to be real clear about this.
I want you to do it. I want you to do it. But you know me, we've been fans for a while now. I'm going to keep pushing at you like, hey, make sure you're thinking it all the way through because the realities of the position is so much different than what we get to do sitting in a cheat sheet.
Yep. And then not only that, do you think the Democratic Party is just going to sit by and just let me win? Oh, no, that's a court case right there. Oh, if it's even within 2%.
Well, yeah, especially if you don't run as a Democrat. Absolutely.
Yeah, if I just went as an independent, they got confused because her last name is Carson and his last name is Carson, even though one is male and one is female.
They're going to destroy your ballot access.
Yes.
They're going to put you in like random litigation just to soak up your money.
Yep.
That's what they're going to do.
And you got to know that when you're going in and plan on how you're going to get around it.
And what helped Mom Donnie, just taking it back full circle, was that couldn't work because at the end of the day, the voters still have to pick your name.
Yep.
So the money matters, but it doesn't matter that much if you can get the people. And he showed that you can do it.
It's possible. But, and I know APEC, well, they actually, I will give Congressman Carson this. He does stand on the right side of the Palestinian issue. So I can't knock him for that.
Oh, your guy.
Not my congressperson. So, guys, lastly, I got to talk about Mayor Hogsett. Dude, will you please resign? Dude, it's time to give it up. These, you probably ain't going to have nothing to say about this, so I'm going to just go. If you haven't watched this show for the past, month, you don't have to put yourself on mute because I'm sure this is happening all across the country. Our mayor, Joe Hogsett, Democrat, he is a Democrat. Let me just say that. He's in Indianapolis, so he's a Democrat. His chief of staff, Terry Cook, was accused of sexually intimidating and sexually assaulting 3 women. I have referred to those women as Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2, and Jane Doe 3.
So was it him or his chief of staff?
His chief of staff, but here's where the mayor's about to come into it. So the city of Indianapolis hired an outside firm to launch an investigation. Problem, the mayor interfered with that report by telling that law firm, hey, remove certain pieces out of the investigation report. Also, conversely, the mayor was texting the 3 women, Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2, Jane Doe 3, not with questions that were illegal, but they're like, why are you asking me what my favorite movie is or what I like to eat?
Sounds like the Kavanaugh investigation.
Yeah, it's like, it's not illegal, but it's like there's an investigation going on. So it's understood that when you're being investigated, like if I'm being accused, I'm going to say of murder, of anything, I don't contact the person that's accusing me. I don't text them. I'll just see you in court. This is a whole mess because and then to add on to that, Democrats who have said you need to resign are being removed from the Democratic caucus. It started out with Jesse Brown, who I had on this show. He was the first to be removed from the Democratic caucus. Now, they can't remove him from city council because he won that seat. But now there are 4 more Democrats have came forward and said, no, you need to be resigning. The city decides to hold a town meeting, which they do every once a month. They invite the public to sit in on their meetings. One of the Jane Does shows up at the meeting and says, hey, we need to talk about why the mayor did all these crazy things. She is physically assaulted by the sheriff's department and removed from the meeting by the city council president.
Loaded term. So was she physically removed or was she physically assaulted? Because physically assaulted means that somebody.
Well, they hit her, so I'm gonna say assaulted.
Okay, I don't know. I didn't watch the story, but
I watched the video. It looked like it was punches thrown. It's like they grabbed her and then somebody punched, like somebody elbowed her. So it was kind of one of those things. So she was removed. So now, if you don't know, this is such a long mess. The Young Democrats, a very influential group in Indianapolis, I'm no fan of theirs because I'm like, y'all too young for this. Y'all really, really. But
what is this age thing?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking. I'm not always saying I'm right. I'm just telling you.
Because that's what they use against old Mom Donnie dude. He's too young. He's 33 years old.
He's not young. Well, yeah, I guess he's younger than me.
To them, they had to keep calling him a kid and everything. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So now the Young Democrats have added onto what this is. And I've come to this conclusion. In Indianapolis, we need to stop. If the mayor resigns, which he's already said he's not going to resign, but if he resigns before, let me backtrack. The mayor has $800,000 in his war chest. I think he's going to try to run for governor because Brom is terrible. Literally, I could beat Brom in an election, hands down. I could probably beat him as a write-in candidate. That's how unpopular he is. He's Trump on steroids. He makes Trump look like a kitty cat. He wants to totally cut out SNAP, totally cut out Medicare, totally cut out. He's way worse than Trump. I think that Hogsett is setting up for a run as governor.
He might be.
He's got $800,000 in his war chest that he's just basically sitting on. He won't help other Democrats win office. If he resigns, I think he's playing it like he doesn't think, like he's not resigning to make his bid for governor submitted. Right? Because if he steps down, right now, it says, this is best for Indianapolis. The Republican Party, which basically owns the state of Indiana, is going to use that against them.
But they're going
So,
to use this against them regardless.
see, you would
It's
think
to high
so,
heaven.
except for the lieutenant governor. Oh, Indiana's so messed up. We got our lieutenant governor that has some questions. It's like we messed up in the Hoosier state. We are messed up. We messed up. So if he resigns, that's going to make it harder for him to run as governor. They're going to use it. You are absolutely right. They're going to use it. That's just smart politics. You got to use it. It's right there. You're interfering in an investigation that's supposed to be
Well, the
like,
big thing is it's the sexual angle. Hypocrites don't mind using it against you. They don't have a problem with that.
I mean, meanwhile, they're out here on gay Tinder, like doing whatever they do, but
don't mind. Hypocrites do not mind.
They sure don't.
They're
They
immune.
have no chill. They like, what I care.
It works. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, well, he did it. So I think that's why he's hanging on, is because he's looking down. Brahm is so unpopular that I think even with the sexual harassment, sexual assault charges against not him, but his chief of staff, he could still beat Brahm.
You probably could. I mean, look at Cuomo as your indicator. Look at Trump. Look at Adams. I mean, let's just be real. The voting public doesn't really have standards. We don't have standards. Can you sell us a good vibe? Can you just sell us a good vibe?
And can you not fly your helicopter to Jasper, because Indianapolis isn't where I want to live, even though that's the state capital and there's literally a governor's mansion there. Oh, and then make taxpayers pay for it. I mean, that's how unpopular Brahm is. That's how I think that Hogsett could literally beat him, like right now.
I don't know your state's politics too tight, except for to know that Indiana runs red, very, very red. So will they allow a Democrat to be the state head?
Okay, so the last time Indiana had a Democratic mayor,
I'm talking about governor.
Governor was I can't think of his name, because I know Evan Bayh. He was our name. Yep, he was the United States senator that always would criticize Obama. He was our governor. And he was a Democrat. Then O'Bannon came after him. O'Bannon died in office. And then they got that other guy. He got out of the race, and then he got back in it. And that's when Mitch Daniels won. Oh, boy, that's when we really jumped.
Whoever this Kernan guy is.
Yeah, Kernan. That's his name. I'm like, wait a minute. He had it
for 2 years.
Yep, he was governor for 2 years because Frank O'Bannon died in office.
Oh, that's what happened? Okay.
Yeah, Frank O'Bannon died in office. Yep.
So y'all had a decent time. It's pre-Obama, so it's 20 years ago. But
yeah, that's the last time that Indiana has had a Democrat as a governor. And the last time we had a United States senator that was Democrat, that was oh boy. I can see his face in my head, but I can't call his name.
You're doing better than me because I don't know.
Whatchamacallit? We haven't had a Democratic senator for the last gotta be 10 years. Wait a minute. Yeah, y'all got me sitting here wondering. I know his name is Mike something something. Hold on, yeah. Who was the last Democratic senator from the state of Indiana? Oh, Joe Donnelly. That's his name. Now, that one, if you don't dislike the Democrat, if you dislike the Democratic Party as much as I do, child, oh my goodness, Joe Donnelly was special.
I'm looking at the pictures of the people that have been governor in Indiana.
All white.
Yeah, but they some fugly looking people.
Yeah,
I didn't curse.
We don't do attractive in our state.
Well, I mean, okay, wait. They stopped being
Bi is kind of decent
aesthetically
looking.
damaging once you got into like the 60s. Then you started backsliding again. But 2012. So from 2013 to 2019, yeah, that was that Donnelly person you were talking about. And then other than that was some guy named Evan Bayh.
Yeah, Evan Bayh, that was our governor. He ran as United States Senator.
He was a senator for 2 years.
He was a senator for 2 years, and then
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's much longer than 2 years.
he was a senator for 6 years.
No, it's longer than that. He said that from 99 to 2011.
Yeah, because he got beat by Mike Braun. Mike Braun beat Evan Bayh.
I can't tell. Because then after him, it showed. Oh, so Evan Bayh ended in 2011, right?
Yes.
The one who replaced him was a guy named Dan Coates.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about Coates.
I'm impressed because I don't really know my state senators. I know, I mean, of course I know I know the ones I got right now.
You know, Warnock and Ossoff.
Right, that's who I remember.
Like you can't. Yeah, basically, those are two you need to. I mean, I know I know city council up. I'm like, oh, my city council is this person, my state rep is this person, my state senator is this person, and then I can go all the way up. I know the two little suckers we got in office now. I'm like, y'all just evil. Because our senator was the one that told that guy that lost his job because of Doge, maybe you need to be fired. Dude, really?
It's the era we walk in.
I mean, y'all done just went power hungry, trip crazy. But yeah, that's how. If I don't remember anything about Evan Bayh, I will always remember he criticized Obama for every look. I mean, lust. I'm like, dude, I'm not an Obama fan, but you're going a little bit too far. You just took this too far. But I live in New York. Oh yeah, that's right. You can donate outside of. But has he started taking? Because there was a point that Mandami has told people, "Hey, don't donate to my campaign." That's over. Because he moved to the general. That little pitch that he made, like in the primary, that's over. He gonna ditch that. That gone.
You know what's funny though, and that's not to hold it because I know you want to move through. So I know that many people like myself are against how political financing is done, and we want public financing, and we want to get rid of Citizens United, and we're against corporate PAC money. And yet, I'm not hearing people right now saying, well, let all the money that flows into the mayor's race be from within New York. Other states ain't got no business putting money in the New York race. Not hearing that.
You're going to get them nice little emails. I got one from Raphael Warnock. I don't live nowhere near Georgia.
No, I'm not saying from the politician side. The politicians are going to make everything national because all of the elections are national now. But I'm just saying, if you truly are for this campaign finance reform thing that so many people say that they're for, and they want their politicians to not take corporate PAC money, then why are you sending money from outside of their state? You're literally being part of the problem you say you are against.
Yeah, because I don't live in New York.
Right. Let them people have
let them do what they gonna do. That's how I feel too.
But the counter argument is I have to do it because Cuomo and everybody else is gonna be taking money.
Oh yeah, Cuomo, he got that danger. Let me say this. When you get endorsed by Clinton, you're bound to lose. Like once the Clinton says I endorse it, it's over. Like don't.
Their era is over.
I mean, like, forget it. Like, I know Clinton endorsed Boo Boo Chantel Brett. Shut up, Tracy. Because I'm like, that seat should have been Nina's. That seat should have been Nina's. Let me get past it. But that she won the race. She won the race.
That's all right. Let Nina get out there and start talking again. And what's going to happen to her is the same thing that's happening to Bernie right now.
What you mean? What's happening to Bernie right now?
The people who used to support him are going to say that he's a sellout.
Oh, people been saying she's a sellout.
I'm talking about Nina.
Yeah, people have been saying yes.
I
That's
haven't been
what.
hearing that.
But
turn against all your fighters. It's sad.
but yeah, when except for that one time where they endorsed Chantel Brown, if a Clinton put their mouth on you, it's over. So I say, Bill Clinton, please endorse Cuomo again. Please, 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 please.
Publicly and loudly.
Yes, do it as loud as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and
one sexual abuser support the other. Go for it.
Really, because I mean, because here's what I was telling my sister, and then I will let you go. When you're running for office as a Democrat, this is the way I think it should go, but I'll say this. If I'm running in Justice for All as president, I'm gonna run against Dr. West. First of all, I ain't that stupid, but let's just say I'm that stupid. And Dr. West scorches me. He beats me from up and down, straight to the back, front to the side. My next job is to endorse his campaign. We're on this. I'm telling you how it should be. I ain't saying that's how it works.
Why should it be that way?
I just think you're on the same team.
Are you?
If your team, Justice for All, team Republican, let me tell you something. The Republicans do it all the time.
They do. What you just advocated for is vote blue no matter who.
I'm not advocating for it. I'm saying, why then when Cuomo lost, he could have said, you know what? Y'all vote for this young man. He's got the idea. No, I'm going to run as an independent. But he said that you lost once.
I agree. I think that you lost, you should walk away.
Yes, walk away.
If you can't support them, walk away. But I have a problem with the ones who are defeated in a hostile competition and then go back, support the person, because it's like that's just too calculating for me, right? Like, I mean, there's certain levels. Like if you're running for president, then there's this expectation for the good of the country type thing. You got to play. So yeah, Bernie was number 2. He didn't win. So he's like, yes, I now endorse Hillary Clinton. And he actually worked for her, tried to get her elected.
But not according to her book.
Yeah, that's cool. But because that, like we were saying, they're going to turn on you no matter what. But he could have also, in my view, just said, I lost the election.
I'm starting a third party.
And I'm done. I'm going back to the Senate. And that's it. Because then people are like, well, why didn't you endorse Hillary? Well, technically, I don't agree with her.
Yeah, I just think
I understand why they do it.
It's common. It's like you're a sore loser. You lost.
Yeah, you're a sore loser when you lose and go third. Like that's saying I'm not even going to listen to my voters.
Agreed. Thank you. You just said it. Cuomo, if Cuomo is an independent, that makes me, I don't know, a Confederate carrying the Confederate flag. I mean, this man is, when I think of corporate Democrat, his picture should literally be at that definition.
Dude, but don't get it twisted. If he runs independent, well, he's not even technically running independent. He's running as a write-in. But if he runs independent and he wins, he will then immediately join the Democratic Party.
Of course he will. That's what the mayor of Buffalo did when India Walton. This is a perfect story. When India Walton, she won that primary. She won it. She destroyed it.
Then he ran off ticket.
Then he gonna just coordinate with the Republicans, which is what I'm sure Cuomo was gonna do to get on the ballot. I mean, to do a write-in candidacy. Y'all don't New York. Don't be fooled by that.
And I don't hold a lot of hope for New York because New York was fooled by Eric Adams. Eric Adams was a Republican, and then he decided to run as a Democrat so he can get elected, and then he governed as a Republican.
Y'all just not Eric Adams or Cuomo. If you're gonna just write somebody's name in, dang on and write your own name in, but not them two. Anybody but them two.
I think if you want to run for elected office, I'm not saying you can't have an arrest record, but your arrest record needs to be for like civil disobedience,
Right.
right?
Like you was at a
It can't
protest.
be for
Yeah.
like
You was at a
sexual assault.
protest and it got a little bit out of hand. Okay. But if you arrested for racketeering, oh, well, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
corruption,
Like,
assault.
it depends on what you went to jail for. You know, if you got some speeding tickets you didn't pay, well, okay, I could overlook that. But am I going to overlook the fact that you got, well,
I'm trying to
but
think, who was it they went after? I don't even remember which election it was, but they went after somebody because they had outstanding student loans. Like what?
Say that question again.
They went after, this is years ago, but they were trying to use against them that they had outstanding student loans. Like they had
against
unpaid
who?
student
Which
loans.
candidate?
I want to say it was in the presidential race. That's why it keeps making me think it was them trying to I don't know who they were going after.
I thought it was Obama because he had just made a comment that I made.
No, he was still paying student loans. I think
he was still paying student loans. Wait a minute. Now we know. Did I not tell you he was going to come in? Did I not say, oh, he's getting his hair twisted? I have to stay handsome.
I chose not to get my hair done so I could be here, but it's okay.
But yeah, that's it. Because Obama was still, I mean, you have.
But then he left office a millionaire. So
how you gonna go? How does it cost $1 billion? Kamala Harris raised $2 billion to run for a job that pays $450,000 a year?
Because that's not where the money is.
No, that's exactly my point. You should not be able to go into Congress, make $100,000, and you come out a millionaire. That's not why you are there.
But no, it's literally why they're there. But I agree with you. Like I think there should be a 12-year term limit for the Senate and the House. All right, so that's 2 terms in the Senate. If you can't get it done in 12 years, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what you there for? What you like? What you there for?
12 years for the House just to keep it even, right? So if you're managing to win 6 elections, hats off.
And you can't come back as a lobbyist.
Right. You should not be allowed to come back as a lobbyist. It also, you should only earn the salary according to your job. You are not allowed to take any favors or monetary value or anything like that. And if you do, you are facing criminal charges because your expectations are higher as an elected official. That alone will keep a lot of people from running for office.
And here's another one. When y'all be getting y'allself pay raises, put that sucker on a ballot. I want everybody to vote. Should I get a raise? And you tell me why you deserve a raise.
Well, I'm not opposed. I don't think they should be voting for a raise.
I'm saying the public. I'm talking about
No, I feel what you're saying, but I'm saying like you're doing a job. Any of us who do a job, we expect to get some type of a raise each year. We hope anyway. So I don't have a problem with them getting a raise. My problem is, why are you trying to get a raise when you still get insider trading? You still get all of these benefits that we have to pay for. No, you get your salary. That's what you get.
Yeah, but things when we get a raise, it also comes with an evaluation.
That's what the elections are.
That's what I'm saying. Every time you want to vote for, okay, put it on the ballot.
No, I'm not saying their evaluation is getting reelected to office. Their pay should be treated like their pay. I just think that if you fix some of those other things that we do agree on, that one won't matter anymore, right? They should have a 5% annual raise built into their pay structure.
Yeah, if you're there to make money, you got the wrong job.
Right. Everybody else is fighting for 3% out here in the private market. You get
if you get that.
So you get an automatic 5%. You get the universal health care, but I want everybody to have it. And but tighten that in. And you'll see a lot of people just run away. They'll be like, I don't want to have
what would also make them feel it? Have those healthcare costs come out of their salary, like every other American experiences that has a job.
Well, if you make it universal, then it is.
No, I'm saying, because I hear people like Ted Cruz, it's socialism. Bro, you got the best healthcare in the world. Shut up.
Yeah, but to them, they don't see it that way because to them, it's a perk.
Yeah, but I'm like, you know what? Okay, take it out your paycheck. But of course, he's a millionaire too, so it ain't gonna really hurt him that way. But also, their families get it. Also, they get pensions. They have so many. Again, you should not be taking a job. You come in making $174,000 and you leave. According to some reports, Nancy Pelosi has a net worth of $260 million. That don't make no sense.
Worth more than that. But
She's probably
no,
worth.
I agree with you. I'm just saying that, and this is where, I guess you're probably trying to move towards the end, but this is where I keep pushing back at the last video that I watched that you had. And it was all about justice for all, I want to say. We had two people on the panel, two guys.
Yeah, you watched my one the week before last.
And it was all, gosh, I don't want to, it's not to be insulting, it's just the way it came across to me. It was all starry-eyed. It was like, it was all hugs and love. And I'm like, guys, that's not going to win you an election. And even if you did win the election, you'll never be able to deliver on the things that you're talking about, which would then make you lose the credibility that you need to keep going, right? Well, we don't need you to sell us dreams. We need you to show us how we can achieve something, and we'll help you do it, right? So that's the big thing, man. Just stop. It's almost like you're lying to us, but you're lying with good intentions, as opposed to the other side is just lying.
Sure, for reparations, let's have a study so we don't actually have to discuss an amount.
Well, if you get people elected, if you get independents, because we need independents and we need third parties elected into the House of Congress, into the chambers of Congress, then we can have the study and we can have the follow through. And
I'm complaining about the follow through.
Yeah, but so long as all we have is what you guys call the duopoly, their power is most secure by not doing anything. So They ain't gonna do it.
Yep, but Nelson, I'm gonna let this one be the last comment. You do know, that's basically what we base our principles off of: truth, justice, and love. That's our. I know you don't agree with it, but I'm just saying that's what we.
Good luck with that. We can hug our way through.
Now you're gonna make me keep going. Like, no, that's not what we're. Well, that's not what
I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm sorry. Truth, love, and justice. Y'all do it. Make it happen.
I did want to announce to Nelson and the other people that did not watch our show yesterday, the convention date is set. We are literally having our convention June the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th, and it will be in the lovely city of Columbus, Ohio.
Did you say lovely city?
Lovely city of Columbus, Ohio.
Right.
All cities in America are lovely because lovely people live everywhere. Now, some cities need to clean up more than other cities.
I've been to Columbus.
I've never been. Twice. It's going to be a 2-hour drive. The city that I wanted, which was Las Vegas, didn't win, but that's okay.
It's all right. You'll have fun. Are you going in the winter?
June 10th, 11th, and 12th.
You'll have it's actually a very pleasant place to be. My problem is I landed like in the dead of winter, and it was.
I may suggest. I'm like, y'all know, y'all should get this to talk to y'all. Do da 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 da. I may.
I'm willing to talk to anybody. It's just, I want a third party that I can support. I haven't seen it.
But just to let you know, we are working, and we will be nominating our president and vice presidential candidates at that convention.
Awesome. It's not Cornell?
We will be nominating our president and vice presidential candidates.
Okay. So if it's not a real election and you're just coronating Cornell,
we are going to be nominating our president.
Y'all gonna be just as guilty as a Democratic Party.
No, we're taking steps to avoid that. No, we won't. We would absolutely not do that.
We got over here, Carl no last name. What candidate?
No, that make us
And
just like the
Dr.
Democrats.
Cornel West, leader of men, dreamer of dreams, and Carl.
We wouldn't do Carl like that. Carl would get exactly the same opportunity to have a discussion because we don't believe in debates. We believe in discussions.
Oh God!
I'm just telling you what I believe. Debate is like debate is what Raphael Warnock did to Chase Oliver. When it's supposed to be him, Chase Oliver and Herschel Walker didn't show up. He just completely, I'm like, dude, it's a person right there.
That was, I don't know what that was.
I'm like,
it wasn't a debate. That was wrong.
Yeah, I agree with Nelson. We will get back with you, Theas. We will. We making preparations. We working towards it. We really are.
Well, I do wish you guys the best.
But we went way longer than I expect, because usually I know I'm an hour. And I still can't.
I'm around.
And could you imagine if Marlon was here? Oh my gosh. We'd be like, it's 9 o'clock, y'all. Let's go to bed. Let's go to sleep. But again, there will not be a show July 5th. I will not be doing the Saturday show. I will be doing the Sesame Street ranking of characters the 12th and not the 5th. There will not be a Justice is Here podcast on the 6th. And there won't be a Justice for All podcast on the 5th. And then there won't be a Tracy weekend review on the 6th. So I take a mini vacation, but again, it's to celebrate my brother's birthday, because I don't basically want to hear, you didn't give me come to my party. So I'm going to be there because that's what big sisters do.
Yeah, that's my wife's birthday is July 7th. And that's cool. But hey, any list about Sesame Street characters where Grover doesn't win is already broken and busted. So
Grover's not going to win.
Well, then it's broken and busted. Because
I'm going to go Big Bird. I'm a Big Bird girl. You know that's right. We go to sure do. Oh, child, when I was on y'all show, I'm like, y'all, I got to go to church tomorrow. Look.
Welcome to tomorrow.
This tomorrow. I need to go to bed. So just keep in mind those things. Yeah, it's at a Mexican food restaurant. I don't know the name of it, but I know it's there. And keep in mind this, I will tell you more, guys, about the August the 15th date where people try to convince me to run for office. I ain't there yet.
Just come with an open heart.
But I'm going to do my best. I said I would think about it. I keep going back and forward on it. But I want to get, regardless of whatever I do, whether I run or don't run, I still want to see my community excel. And my community includes my neighbors, my Spanish neighbor, my white neighbor, my black neighbor, my trans neighbor. I want to see us get better. We deserve nice things.
These are the people in your neighborhood.
Just be on the lookout for ICE. I don't know about that because I don't know if it's owned by Latinos or not. I'm just going to assume it is.
That ain't going to be your big issue. You're in a red state, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they everywhere right now, but.
And we don't have any sanctuary cities in Indiana. Because as Trump called Brom, he called him an idiot. And then Brom said, he mentioned me? He did? Like, dude, he called you an idiot. See, he called you. See, what he did was. And you taking it like it's good.
Because he said my name.
I don't even want to get on Mike Brick with our lieutenant governor, old child, just to get rid of him. The pastor that said that the 3/5 compromise ended, that led to the abolishment of slavery. Really? And then doubled down on it. Said, I ain't apologizing. I'm like, okay, stop asking for his apology. He done told y'all what he gonna do. get a candidate to run against these clowns. Oh, and then he said he doesn't work for the governor, but you're his lieutenant governor. And then our governor came out and said he's against interracial marriage. So we got all kind of KKK problems in Indiana. All type of KK. This is the state that the KKK got it started.
Yeah, it is so disgusting to me that people hang their hats on some of the just dumbest things. Like interracial marriage. Like, if you don't agree with interracial marriage, then don't marry somebody outside your race.
Yeah, marry somebody within your race.
Kind of simple, you know.
Well, like,
you don't agree with
trans.
You don't like trans people.
I'm against gay marriage. Then don't marry somebody gay. Hello, that's the easiest answer. Like,
this is really simple. And you know, I'm sorry. I'm say this and then get it out of the way. This is where a lot of times I have so much trouble with people within the faith community, because what people are saying to me, even though they don't know that's what they're saying, is you don't believe in your God. Like these people have like the weakest God in the world.
He's just sitting out there in them scared streets.
Like,
Jesus up here whimpering and bowling. They forgot he turned the table over. Y'all forgot he turned the table over.
I'm just saying, like, if you truly believe that God is omnipotent and omniscient, then trust God.
Even if you think that person isn't on the right path, you tell them they rejected. Oh, well, you told them. Keep it moving.
You can tell them, yeah, witness to them. But you're trying to change their world.
I'm against interracial marriage. Okay, then marry somebody white. That's problem solved.
Same thing to the black folks who say that.
Yeah, then don't marry somebody white. Dr. Umar, and build your school. I said what I said.
Well, he does have his school.
He does have it?
Mm-hmm. Allegedly, he has his school. It's underfunded and he's trying to keep it alive, but
well, I'll take back that criticism.
Just like most people, everybody's complicated. Like, I'm not a big Umar fan, but I'm also not against him, because I know some of the things that he has taught over the years personally benefited me. So you take what you agree with and you reject what you don't. Stop looking for perfect people.
Yeah, they do not exist. They do not exist. Guys, we're gonna call this a night, because it 8:19 and I gotta eat, because, well, my pump gives me insulin, but it's time for me to eat dinner. Theus, tell us why I'm not on Radical Truth. No, don't do that. Like, tell me why I'm not on Radical Truth to Power.
Because you choose not to be that.
I chose not to be. That is true.
Tell us you can find me on Radical Truth to Power. All but the last week of the month. We don't record on the last weekend of the month. So you can find us there. That's the most consistent place you're going to find me. As you can see, I'm a founder of Our United Core. We are a community development organization that is centered on the Black community, but we are not exclusive to the Black community. And we focus on basically some of the principles you guys have shared, which is I want to help people see each other, acknowledge each other, and build with each other. It's time to bring love back into the community and rebuild our culture. And then my other thing is Complex Mind, Simple Man. That's where you're going to find a lot of my political and deeper social commentary.
I enjoyed that whole series you did, If I Were in Congress. I'm like, this is really good.
I stopped it because I ain't getting no comment. I ain't getting no feedback, man. So, and also I suck at recording, but I ain't getting any feedback. Like, give me a question and I'll record my response.
Hey, y'all got like what, 700 subscribers? I'm still stuck at 375.
No. Marlon's channel has 700.
But you're a part of Marlon's channel.
I have 54.
I've been stuck at 375. I'm like, y'all, I should be at least 1,000 by now, but nope. Y'all look at her and say, nope, not her. Nope, not her.
How you say mine? Mine is like, I think 54, and I might be off by 2. I might only be in the low 50s.
And I might lose somebody when I get off here, but like, dang it, dropped down to 373.
And then I got 5 on Our United Core. So, you know.
Yep. But you all know The TRACYMedia LLC.com website is back. I am so excited to put live content on there. That'll start probably in September when I switch from StreamYard to Restream. Yes, I'm leaving StreamYard because it costs too much for me. Yeah, it costs too much. So I'm gonna switch over to Restream. I started with Restream. I'm gonna go back to it, see how this works. But I appreciate everybody watching this extended show. Y'all know, it's 100 days until the football season starts. Y'all know I spent the whole hour talking about the draft. The last show of Tracy's Week in Review will be August the 31st. Y'all know what happens that Sunday after this show disappears. I told y'all that from the beginning. I want to thank everybody, and remember, tell 5 of your friends about this channel. I am throwing out some what I think is great content. I don't like to brag or nothing, but I have put my best effort into content. So tell 5 of your friends, your neighbors, that lady that's got all those cats. Tell the guy that's got the Confederate flag, especially tell him because he needs to be enlightened. Tell everybody that you know that TRACYMedia is out here putting out content. I go from serious to ranking Sesame Street characters because that's what I believe in doing. So thank you all. Have a great evening. I will see you not this week, but I will see you the week of July the 12th. That is actually incorrect. That is incorrect. I have a Thursday show. That is incorrect. Let me correct myself. This Thursday, I will be interviewing Kayla Fitzgerald. Now, if that name does not sound familiar to you all, Kayla was one of my panelists on the Our Future, Our Voices panel. She will be coming on to talk about something I've been wanting to talk for at least about a year, and that's Cop City. I've been wanting to talk about Cop City for the longest. So she will be on Thursdays at 6. So tune in Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody have a good evening. Yes, Marlon, that's why we go to midnight, but I'm about to end it. Thank you all for watching and have a fantastic day.